We got a new episode of Odds and End Zones coming at you, the 17th episode. We've been doing this for 17 weeks, dude.
Look at
I'm
us.
Shamus Clancy, joined here by my boy Zo. Zo, what's up?
What's up, brother? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Yeah, for those out there recording this early Thursday afternoon, probably listening to this maybe Friday morning. So get your little NFL fix before the weekend.
Episode 17, man. 17 weeks in the books.
That's the NFL season.
Yeah, basically. It goes so quick, man. I feel like sometimes we take it for granted because it's every day, but 17 weeks is not that long at all. We're mowing right along.
Yeah, today came out the 100th episode of From the Bleachers.
Yeah, congrats.
That's wild.
That's even crazier too if you think about it. You know, it's a lot of the content. You know, the guests.
Talking solo by yourself for 20 minutes is until I started doing the podcast, I never realized how hard it is for anyone who does a podcast without a guest or just solo without a co-host. I can't imagine going back and listening to those early podcasts because they're probably just a complete abject disaster. Whereas now they're a little bit better, and when I have a guest on or someone on, it goes a little bit more smoothly.
Like too. Even with there's a lot of guys who just started out. Like if they went back and listened to their previous pods, probably sound just like utter messes because it was just them. Like even if you get a producer, at least it's not just you anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can only imagine what a lot of these like popular pods sounded like when it was just one dude talking in the space.
Yeah, the first BS report way back on ESPN was probably trash for Simmons.
It was garbage.
The first episode of Part of My Take probably sucked. So
the first Part of My Take was absolutely terrible.
What'd you do for the games last weekend? I talked about it from the bleachers, and I'm sure if you have the internet, you saw that I got engaged this past weekend, Friday night.
Yes, you did.
Long time coming. Very excited. Very happy to be with my fiance. I've only called her my girlfriend once or twice since then, which is as soon as it happened, I was like, I'm definitely going to call you my girlfriend.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
So my fiance Ashley, we got engaged on Broad Street where we had met at the Eagles Super Bowl parade. Went out Friday night, celebrated Saturday. Went up to Garage Fishtown, watched the two games, the Tennessee-Cincy game and San Fran Green Bay up at Garage Fishtown chilling.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed. We just ordered a bunch of food both days, and stayed home for them. I think it's the Saturday games were fun because it was Saturday night. You had something to do.
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night's always Saturday night, right? And then the Sunday games were still felt like Sunday, but it was just fun football all around. Yeah, it was a really fun football weekend. Definitely a redemption from Wild Card Weekend. I wasn't a big fan of Wild Card Weekend. I think I told you.
Stunk. Eagles, hand up, Eagles. You're the chief offender here.
Right. But last weekend was like they owned, football owned the weekend last weekend. It was incredible. And then, you just hope they follow it up this weekend. I have a sneaky. We'll get into it, but I have a sneaky suspicion that a lot more people who pick chalk are going to get the chalk that they wanted this weekend. But I think that if you're NFL purist or just someone tuning in for some good watch last weekend, you got exactly what you wanted.
I looked up, or someone tweeted, one of those Sports Business Insider people said 40-something million people watched the ends of the Kansas City Buffalo game. And I did the math real quick, and it was like 18% of the country was watching that game at the end. That's insane. That's wild.
And if you think about it, you got to go back.
It's like MASH is on. The MASH
I was about to say, like who's watching the MASH finale? Who's watching the Seinfeld series finale? Who's watching the presidential address, regardless of which president it is. But had to have that audience share at that time of day, like people were. I have family group chats and like friend group chats. People were just like, "Yo, y'all watching this? Like, is everybody watching this game?" It's nuts. You haven't heard that. There hasn't been that kind of excitement in a long time. Like I think the last time, like in recent memory, like the last time where anything was that fun, I think it might have been Bucks Suns, maybe game 5 or maybe game 6, but the game where Giannis caught the alley oop to basically win,
Yeah, that was
like
insane.
that.
Yeah.
That was a fun sports night. I think a lot of the country was like, "Oh my god, like this is a really fun game to watch." I like games like that, regardless of who you're rooting
Yeah.
for. Like I think that's good for any sport, regardless of what sport you are.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and it kind of is on that vein, I guess, of this most remarkable game that I'm sure is kind of a flashbulb memory for a lot of people. They remember what they were doing, what they
Yeah,
were watching, who were they with was. And it was funny at the time, Jeff McDev, our boy Jeff McDev, was
shout out boy
putting
Jeff.
hashtag the most important game ever
Yeah,
was Cavs Warriors in 2016 Game 7. That really is
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
one of the maybe the best sporting event I've ever seen. And it really was probably the most important sporting event in my life in terms of the NBA is even what are we 6 years later is so different now, but the legacy conversation is different now too. With just
yep,
there's even more team movement than there was player movement, I should say, than there was then. And that's the biggest game of all time
yeah,
between
for
either
sure.
have the greatest team this they solidify themselves as the greatest team of all time, or this dude solidifies himself as the best player of all time. It's just nothing like that.
It's just, and I think the way back to like our first Saturday night NBA game when the Warriors were in their run, and the famous clip of Steph pulling up from almost half court hitting that three against OKC.
Oh my god, that was that OT or end of regulation?
That was regulation.
That was regulation. Okay.
It was literally like 2 seconds left, and he was like, our guy Mike Green.
They were wearing the sleeve jerseys, I believe,
Yep,
that game.
yep.
They were gray, I think.
And he was like, he's got timeout if he wants to use it. Literally almost half court, and that was another super fun night. It was I love nights like that, and especially when it happens in prime time. I just think it's a different vibe all around.
Yeah. Do you think we're getting anything like this weekend? I will say, I went straight up, went 0-4 last week.
Yeah,
Not good. I will say I didn't bet any of the games last weekend on the spread or money line, but I did take on the show last week. I took the Bengals spread, even though I took Titans to win. So I will say, and the things that really matter, the spread, since we are the most serious gambling podcast in the land, I only went 1-3, so I can live with that. But we did the BGN, the writers pool every week. I was tied for the lead with the community. So it's either everyone that reads the website is as smart as everyone who writes for the website. So I was tied for the regular season lead, but I went 0-4 last week.
My early thought is we're going to get a shootout in Bengals Chiefs. And for
the first Bengals Chiefs game was maybe the best 2 or 3 games of the season, because you have, I'm thinking the Raiders Chargers goes down as the most infamous game we'll ever see, maybe.
For sure. But I think that was January. That might have been the first game in his first NFL game of 2022. That was, I think, like January 2nd. When Jamar Chase had 266 receiving yards, a couple TDs. They I forget how much offense they combined for, but yeah, I think it's gonna be another shootout. I don't know if I'm ready to pick the Bengals yet. I love the Bengals. I love Joey B and what they're doing.
Honorary black guy.
Honorary, clearly, yo, 100%.
The pick of him with like the white quarterbacks, like the 2 backups, and the pick of him with Jamar and some of the receivers when they clinched the division was so
100% one of us.
That's like the picture of me and you at the prep versus a picture of me and Capelli.
It's like me, you, and Howie when we were speaking. When I went to I posted a story of him doing the Get the Gat dance, and Shire, shout out to Shire. He replied and was like, Joey B was a huge get for white guys like me.
Yes, like Chappelle Rachel draft. He's like he was the Andrew Luck of white guy prospects.
Right. He was a no-brainer, right? He was a no-brainer for us. We saw our shot and we took it. Listen, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled it out, honestly. I feel like I'm so Chiefs pilled though. After
Really,
last week,
I'm anti. I'm just over it. Like I
I'm
know they're unbelievable. Well, what I said last week to save myself in my bad pick. So I said the Bills Kansas City game was going to be the Super Bowl, and I think
yeah.
based on how that game played out, a lot of people agreed, and it just seems. I don't know.
And,
I'm going to pick Kansas City because I want Cincinnati to win.
And I listen. I last week I thought they were going to hit their demise when when that game was in its infancy. I was like, yeah, Buffalo's not scared. Like they might pull this out, but
yeah,
I'm so scared to pick against them. But I think that I love the Bengals. I think if they pull this out, would not be surprised. Like it's going to be talked about as being an upset, but I don't think that they're going in thinking it's going to be upset if they win. They're ready. They're not scared. They've already beat this team once, so why would they be scared? Like it's literally the same exact team.
They're plus 260 money line. I do like that.
Yeah.
As like in comparison, San Francisco is a 3.5 point dog against the Rams, and their money line is plus 150. Like I'd almost rather just take the plus 3.5.
Yeah, I would say
I was money line.
Yeah.
But I do like the Cincinnati plus 260 and the over under 54.5. A nice little. Again, maybe just fade me. But if you're just again like sometimes I bet not just to win money, but as a clear rooting interest, and I think a lot of people do that as well. I'm not, bankrolling units. I'm just saying, like, I'd rather throw some cash on this team because I want them to win.
You want them to win.
So, a little over and Cincy money line parlay that could be in my future. Plus 54.5. I think they get over that.
Yeah, easily. I think that over is going to hit pretty early too. I think.
First half overs.
Defense. Yeah, I don't see much. This is a perfect game for me because I don't see my defense being played at all. Like I always say,
no one needs defense. Stinks.
Defense does stink, dude. The best defense is a really good offense. So it's gonna be a perfect game for us to watch.
And Jamar Chase to score a TD is minus 115. Not the greatest odds in the world, but it feels like a lot.
And we haven't heard if Tyrann Mathieu is gonna be playing, but you saw that secondary without him last week. My God, I mean,
Gabriel Davis looked like prime Torrey Holt.
Bro, I cannot believe how out of place and just lost every single person in that secondary look. And if one man makes a bigger difference and they wind up not having him this weekend, I can't imagine how you even have any kind of confidence in them being able to stop Jamar Chase. Because it's gonna be ugly if they don't have him. It might be ugly with him, but it's gonna be even uglier if they don't have him.
What's your preferred Super Bowl matchup?
I actually would love to see Bengals and Niners. I think that'll be a lot.
That's what I want, which means it's going to be Kansas City, LA.
Oh yeah, we're going to get Kansas City in the.
But I think there's the history too of the iconic Joe Montana from some people. I'm kind of an old-headed, old soul in terms of knowing old games and worshiping ESPN Classic. But I believe the 1982 Super Bowl, Joe Montana leads a drive down the field to beat Cincy in the Super Bowl. It's John Taylor scores the winning touchdown for the 49ers, and kind of Montana becomes Montana at that moment.
That's a lot of history. It's a lot of history.
There's some history between those teams, which I like.
Yeah. And I think it would be a lot of fun to see just some new blood in the Super Bowl, man. I feel like
no one's ever sent a text message about the Bengals winning the Super Bowl.
Right. It would be that. I don't know. I feel like that's also what keeps your game going, like for all those years where people were just like, oh, the Bulls are going to make it again.
I need some fresh blood. And that's what I like about the NFL historically is other than the Pats, there's more turnover. There's more parity than the NBA where, the 2019 or 2020 finals, 21 was the first time we didn't get this, like last season was the first time we didn't get LeBron, Steph, or Kobe in the finals since 2007 or whatever it was.
I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth too, because if the chips fall our way and we get the next four years of Embiid and Harden versus whoever in the finals, I won't be upset at all. So again,
Adam Silver going to nix the trade,
right? Adam Silver going to pull the ultimate David Stern and say and at the 25th hours. I'm waiting for it.
I'm locking myself to the doors of the NBA office.
That's right.
Getting arrested.
The ultimate lock-in. We're ready. I got nothing else to lose. So,
do you think they get Harden? I wrote a whole newsletter about like I don't know if they're going to get Harden, and then like within 25 minutes of sending it out, I was like, oh, James Harden says he doesn't want to be in anymore. Not only is he not going to sign an extension, he's probably going to go right to free agency. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I said, in talking to people way smarter than us, yeah, and reading the tea leaves, right? A lot of people seem to think that it's actual smoke. I think they are going to get him, man. I really do. I have a Phillies Bryce feel about this, where
I like the comp.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of smoke there. I feel like they want him, and I feel like the biggest opportunity to get him is in the offseason. The Nets aren't going to fill any trade offers. I do believe that. There's no way they'll fill trade offers for him, especially with KD being out. If KD was healthy and they were struggling, I actually think it'd be a different scenario, but he's going to be out probably for another month or so. So I do think they'll hold on to him to at least the end of the season, but I do get a feeling that once free agency hits, he's going to hit the open market, and Morey's going to do literally everything within his power to get him.
This is a thing that only people like me that are like so anal worry about. What number do you think he would wear here? I'm looking up. So he wore 13, obviously, his whole pro career. Wore 13 in ASU, wore 13 in high school. But and it looks like in one of the U.S. select practices, he wore number 12, and obviously that's close to number. Obviously he won 13. That's for Wilt, who you might claim he's not alive, but
who is not alive,
never lived,
who does not exist, who never existed,
does not exist. And then obviously 3 can't wear that. So number 12, I think he'd be. I think he'd be a nice number 12.
12 fits him. He does. You know what? He's a bitch. He's a bit thick, THICC. So I think he is a nice double number guy. You know, so at 12 would fit him well.
And in this situation, obviously Tobias is gone, and that's why.
Right in this situation,
the worst number 12 in Sixers history, with a lot of bad number 12s, to be honest.
Thank you for your service, but we'll see you. We'll see you never. Sorry. Thanks.
Do you think Ben's here after deadline? See, I kind of like the idea of you throw him for a little package. You see how that playoff run goes with the package. If you don't like that, you flip that little package again in the offseason. Which feels very Morey optionality. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be my move.
I think they would. I think the ultimate hard intel is going to be if they're able to come off the Tobias deal, for like a John Collins or whomever. But I do think they will. I think they're more likely to do what you just said, get rid of Ben and get some combination of some serviceable guys who are on
the Kings package.
Take a Kings package, and whatever happens in this run, you're fine with, because the summer is summer is where our big fish is going to be. So if you need to flip a Halliburton and a couple of picks, or if you need to, or whoever you get in that deal, you can, and go after Harden. But I really do think the biggest tell in how they feel about their chances with Harden is going to be if they're able to come off the Tobias deal.
Get that Harden, Meek, and Devontae Smith pick at the Eagles opener next year.
Yeah,
that's sadly Michael Rubin will sneak into.
I know you saw my tweet, but I was like, how funny would it be if Rubin happens to be the key to it all? Like the guy who somehow knows every single person happens to be the one that Harden's like, yeah, like I talked to Rubin, and he really did it for me. But it also would be a different energy to the city, man. Like we need, kind of an influx of just like new energy and some new blood. Like it's going to be tough with who knows what baseball is going to look like, because that lockout, I just read last night that lockout might go into their supposed regular season. And,
spring training is definitely effed up.
Yeah, spring training might be chalked like for good, at least at this current moment. And everybody's going to have regardless of the draft, people are going to still have a sour taste in their mouth about the Birds. So like, I don't know. I feel like a nice influx of new excitement and energy will be really helpful.
Yeah, and got Sixers Lakers tonight with Embiid being a beast. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but it is live on YouTube, so there is a 20% profit boost on a 3+ leg same game parlay for Lakers Sixers tonight.
A lot of fun.
I just threw one together. I could pull it up and see what I put together. Log in. I hate DraftKings, but that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. I mean, smart.
Joel stat combo 50+ points, rebounds, and assists. 14+ points for our guy Tyrese Maxey. 1-3 for Tyrese. 1-3 for Joel. 1 steal for Joel. 1 block for Joel. That was plus 475. They got boosted to plus 570.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that.
Like I didn't want to put it. I keep effing myself because I always put Sixers money line in there, and then they don't. Yeah. Like on Friday night before I proposed, both Ashley and I went to the Sixers game ahead of time, and we each had a parlay where all the numbers hit. But we had Sixers money line in there, and they collapsed, and the Clips won. So it was terrible. I mean, if they had won and we hit we won like $300 in parlays, and then I went and engaged, it would be even greater. But
that would have been
that. But it's more fitting that I couldn't do it at an Eagles parade. I couldn't propose there because the Eagles weren't good enough to go that far, and that the Sixers lost in this crazy collapse before I could do it. So it actually is more poetic that way.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was actually very apropos to exactly how your lives as Philadelphia sports fans have been to this point.
Late game on Sunday. San Francisco at LA. Rams are 3.5-point favorites. Over under set at 45.5. Niners money line plus 150. Rams money line minus 170. What do you like?
I like the Niners and the points.
I like the Niners spread. Yeah, like I said I'd rather take the spread than the money line.
Yep, they're tough, man. I know Debo's banged up, but everything I've been hearing and reading, he'll be ready to go. I mean, listen. Outside of guys having torn whatever, they're going to play. So I expect both teams to be full strength. And I just think full strength that the Niners are just the tougher team. I know the Rams have the bigger names, but I think the Niners
are a better team.
They're a better team. They're tough, man. They are tough.
It's kind of an old boomer thing to say, but they just play well together. Shanahan's a better coach. Shanahan owns McVay. And as much as they want to get rid of Jimmy G, it seems Jimmy G's a punching bag. They're good with Jimmy G. They just win. It's he has nowhere near the highs, but it's a little Folesian in the way that sometimes everyone just likes him and he has a really good record when he's on.
You just like him. Guys like you can tell.
It's important when people as we learned in the post Foles era. Yeah, it's very important that your team likes your quarterback.
Yeah, it's a little bit important, right? That your team likes your quarterback,
and that's why I think we were both fans of Hurts. And obviously, the arm and the passing game wasn't the way we wanted to be or needed to be this year. But he had a successful season, and I think again that is due in part because he's a good leader, he's likable, and players play for him and they like him. And just it's important. It's the most So it's such an overrated thing that it's underrated.
And he's a guy, I think they did a wildcard weekend. They did a pre-game thing where he said, we read the article where, it basically said that he thrives off competition and he pretty much took the job from Carson Wentz because he wanted it more and he was built on that. So I think that, I don't know who it'll be. I don't have any speculation. This isn't a speculative supply, but I feel like they are going to try to bring in some kind of competition for him.
It's even if they don't swing the massive trade. Would you be totally shocked if the 15th pick comes up on April 28th or whatever it is, and Goodell says the Eagles select Kenny Pickett quarterback Pittsburgh?
Right.
I would. Right. I don't know if that's the move I would do. Probably not. Yeah. But I get the rationale behind it.
Yeah, you get it. The season.
You reset the clock on the QB rookie contract, and I think that's actually the most important thing. Is Hurts hasn't developed a ton as a passer this season, but they're already 2 years. They're already halfway through that rookie contract.
Yep.
Because he was a second round pick. They don't have that 5th-year option to kind of wait things out. So they might be a little stuck right now.
Yeah.
But I think if they're gonna do the QB pick, now's the time because you're getting that guy with the full rookie contract, the extra 5th year because he's a first-round pick, and you have 2 other picks to load up around him.
And also, I also think that it'll be interesting to see him. I think I know how he'll react, but I would love to see him react to getting a little push. Not saying again, Kenny Pickett's the guy who's going to come in and
Do you think a push from a guy, a rookie, or a vet brought in, or what's an example?
I think of that, man, and I think it's tough because there's a lot of sucky quarterbacks in this league. But if they're able to bring in just a mildly used vet, there's a lot of guys who rode the pine this year who should have saw some time. But I think that there's a ton of examples, but I really would like to see a lightly used vet come in and give him a push. I think that he's not a guy that needs motivation, but I love seeing him when he got something to fight for, and he had something to fight for when it was him versus Wentz. It wasn't his job; he had to go out and fight for it. So I feel like when he got something to fight for, he's a different person.
Bring in Mariota. I'll never quit Mariota. So whatever happens with the QB situation, if it's Hurts, I'm a Hurts stan. I'm a Minshew stan, and I'm a Mariota stan. I win either way.
You'll never quit. Never quit Mariota.
I'll never quit him. That's the only NFL player where sometimes we do that for fun with NBA prospects, I think. But that's the only player NFL type where I'm like, this guy just get him the right system, and he's it still.
I like Tyler Huntley a lot.
He's a restricted free agent.
He's restricted.
I'm really interested to see what happens with that. Because again, would you be surprised if they threw something at him?
No.
And I think I'd rather if you're moving away from Hurts, which they say he's going to be a starter. Is it GM speak? I'm cool. I think we're both cool with rolling with him for 2022.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather throw the little bag at Huntley rather than drafting a Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis or whoever. And you use those 3 picks to, and then you don't have to flip one of those picks for 2023 for the QB optionality because you're saying this is our guy, Hurts is riding the pine, or they trade Hurts for late day 2 pick or whatever.
And we already got NFL tape on Huntley. We've seen him against NFL.
Yeah, it's not theoretical.
No,
he can play.
He can play exactly.
Let me look up his vibes right now. Tyler. So he is 23, turns 24 on February 3rd.
Right, dude. That's
and Jalen is 23. So and Jalen's young for his class.
Right.
He was an undrafted rookie free agent.
Yeah, he's young for his class, exactly.
Contract. He was undrafted out of Utah. Look at Spot Track, the great resource. So he is an exclusive rights free agent.
Yep.
Which I think would mean it's very hard for the team to part with him.
Yeah.
But that's in the case that if he was just their starter and there was no Lamar, it'd be really hard for him to leave.
Yeah.
But they're not going to break the bank on a backup quarterback when they have Lamar.
Nah, we've read the same thing. They love him. They love him a lot. Harbaugh has a ton of confidence in him, as a backup to Lamar. But I would agree. I don't see them breaking the bank to keep him. You still have ideally Lamar's coming back fully healthy next year. So I don't think that you want to break the bank because you still need, you got other stuff, you got other priorities around Lamar and around that defense. I mean, they have a defense that lost, I think, 3 guys to torn ACLs this year, and then an offense that just needs a kind of revamping around Lamar, and especially around his protection. So they definitely got some holes to fill. That I could totally see them. Sacrifice is the wrong word because they like him, but I can totally see them maybe kind of just making a tough decision to part ways with Huntley.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more info on the exclusive rights free agent because I know when a player has as a restricted free agent, teams will have to put a tender on that
tender,
player.
yeah. Yep.
So they'll put. I know that happened. I remember Cedric Thornton had like a 3rd round tender on him,
Yep.
and the higher the tender you put on that player, the more guaranteed money you have to give them.
Yeah.
But the tender means, say this isn't Huntley, but just use a random example, Minshew. Just say he was a restricted free agent, and the Eagles put a 2nd round tender on him. They had to guarantee him X amount of money for that 2nd round level. But if another team wanted to match that or beat it, they would have to part with a 2nd round pick to the Birds as part of it.
So, like, do you like Huntley enough to part with a 2nd round pick or a third, or a 3rd rounder? Especially if it's one of those things where you were already going to not burn, but spend one of those picks on a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's probably a wash for you anyway.
Yeah. I don't know, man. See, the most interesting domino one. I mean, there's never going to be quarterback movement like I think there is going to be this offseason. We said the same thing last offseason too. Sure. I think that looks like from my cursory reading, the most clear thing would be that you're probably going to need to part with some draft compensation
100%.
if you're going to have to get Huntley. But again, that's going to be cost less than it would cost to trade for Russell Wilson or whoever, obviously.
100% though.
And there's probably going to be it's not going to be the mega quarterback contract where he's making $25 million a year. Nice little middle ground. Obviously, you still might value the true rookie scale quarterback. And again, I have no idea. I don't even have a ballpark idea of what his contract would be. But I would bet the Eagles are monitoring that and know how they feel about that situation already. They already have their idea of how they're going to go after him, if they want to go after him at all.
They want to go, yeah, certainly.
I will say, for all the critiques we have of the front office, they are sharp. Maybe not necessarily in terms of pure draft scouting, but in terms of all the other stuff on the periphery with contracts and deals. Sometimes they know how he has guaranteed some vets contracts that were bad in hindsight, but in terms of this stuff and having a plan and figuring out, scouting other teams around the league, I think they're pretty sound on that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a that's a skill as well, and obviously, how he trusts that part of his front office. Your scouting department is uber important because they work all year round and typically 24/7. So I'm sure if you went in and said, what's the deal on Huntley, there's a Huntley file and there's a guy who knows every single thing about him, knows if his girlfriend is hot or ugly and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I think that I think if they did pull a trigger on him, they will have done it knowing that he's got more than enough potential to make some noise here, or that he's a guy who's going to come in and just be a really cool backup, and always give Jalen the kind of competition that he needs. But I like him a lot. If he winds up in a Birds jersey next year, I think it'll be a great thing for us.
Yeah, I'd be down for it. We like Hurts. I'm fine with him 2022. But
absolutely.
You can't just close the door on all options when it comes to NFL quarterback.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah.
You could have felt the same was said, and it happened of Wentz even coming off the 2019 season when he led them to a division title and played in his first playoff game, though he played just a couple of games. I did see, in terms of effing around on my phone, that I had said Bengals money line is plus 260, which it is on DraftKings. If you're listening to this, check out FanDuel instead, which we usually recommend anyway. They're plus 275 on FanDuel. So I'd rather
definitely search. Shop around. Check your email. Check your spam, like their Fox Bet and
dumbass boosts and stuff.
Yeah, all these companies.
Fox Bet is so bad.
Yeah, Fox Bet is so bad, man. And
unless they want to throw us the bag, then they're the best.
Right. And unless they're writing a check, then they're just, they're top of the line. But, all those places, all those apps, they love sending emails, 3 or 4 days before game day about, what's going to happen and what you can and can't do and bet. So definitely do your due diligence to shop around. Don't be in a haste to spend that $10 so fast.
but it feels so good when you do.
It does.
Yeah,
When it's accepted.
that $10, throwing that $10 on there is that's it. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Set it and forget it. It's like an oven. You say, you're done. It's in.
I wonder if they have. I'd like to see this and see sometimes the books do a little trickery, because usually you can bet on what the Super Bowl matchup will be. I wonder if the books are still offering that and what it would be compared to just parlaying those teams' money line.
Yeah.
Let me see if it's on there.
I like that.
Team futures on DraftKings, they don't have the matchups.
I wonder if FanDuel has it.
Oh, they did. They have named the finalist. So Chiefs and Rams plus 100. That's definitely worse odds than parlaying them money.
Yeah.
Don't fall for this stuff. Like, see, let's look at it here. It says Bengals 49ers plus 850. All right, we got that. I've been exposing DraftKings recently, and they might have to cut me a nice check for me to stop. Oh. Parlaying them together, 49ers money line, Bengals money line, only plus 800.
All right. I like that.
All right. You just went up to notch one. DraftKings. Super Bowl 56 MVP. Ooh. Betting on that now is very interesting because team futures. So this is sometimes I look at it Super Bowl MVP versus Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs are plus 120 to win the Super Bowl right now, but Patrick Mahomes is plus 175 to win Super Bowl MVP. Like, I think that's a better bet.
That's a better
because
bet
if they're going to win, even if he doesn't play, like he didn't deserve to win Super Bowl MVP the other year was Damian Williams. So even if I think you're just better off throwing the money on the quarterback.
I would just put the money on him. And that's a much better bet to me. Also,
Bengals plus 800, Joey B plus 1,000.
That's what I was literally about to ask about Joey B's odds, because that's.
I could see Garoppolo not winning just because he doesn't have that rep either.
No, I could see Debo winning.
Yeah, I could see Debo's plus 1,400. He has 1, 2, 3. He has the second best odds for a non-quarterback. So it's the 4 starters and then Kupp and then Debo.
Yeah, I could definitely see. I could definitely see Debo winning. Jimmy G, just like you said, Jimmy G doesn't have that rep. I don't even know if he'd be able to complete enough passes to do it. If a Niners team made it and won, Debo would absolutely would get all my money for that bet.
Yep. Jalen Ramsey plus 15,000. It's really impossible for. I mean, Von Miller is on here at plus 6,000. I would have to assume he'd be the first defensive player ever to win two Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough.
It has to be a perfect storm where your quarterback kind of stinks and you're just, you know what I mean? It's like, you're Trent Dilfer, 2015 Peyton, that type of stuff. Jim McMahon and 85 Bears, stuff like ultimate
game manager, quarterback stinks. Maybe you had 2 pick sixes and a forced fumble.
And Von Miller, they had the safety. I think it was actually our old friend Malik Jackson had that safety.
Yeah.
Super Bowl or first Super Bowl pod will be nice.
Yeah, it'll be really cool, man. That'll be a fun week. I like Super Bowl week. We can also we'll bring in some crazy questions because I know they like to ask them those stupid questions during Super Bowl week anyway. So
yeah,
some cool stuff to do.
Maybe we could do a little event for it. We'll see. We'll
see what happens. I think it's gonna be. I love Super Bowl week. It's a fun week. It's also they don't give us a break. It's also Valentine's week. So that Super Bowl Sunday.
The day after Super Bowl is Valentine's Day. It's so effed up.
So we are. I mean, come on.
It's the gauntlet. Well, day after Super Bowl should be a holiday, but not that type of holiday.
Right. Not only is it not a holiday, it's the wrong holiday. We asked for all these years. We asked for it to be a holiday. They're like, here, Valentine's Day is one.
Not like that.
Like we're like, no. Reverse. Take that back. Abort.
All right. Got anything else?
I think that's it, man. The bet. I would certainly bet the Sixers tonight, except the money line. I love you can get JoJo at 30 plus, I would bet that's kind of a watch now because he's averaging literally 30 a game. But if you can get him at like 40 plus, I would do that because right now he's on an absolute heater. I would even, you might be able to get him at a triple double, which I think would be fun. And
yeah, I did the 50 stat combo. I like.
Yeah, like if you can give him like a 50 stat combo, I think that's a lot of fun. Keep an eye on them. Turn your Woj and your Shams notifications on, and then get ready for some awesome football on Sunday.
All right, I like it, bro. Thank you as always.
Thank you, man.
Everyone out there, appreciate you tuning in. You can leave a 5-star review now on Spotify. So I know if you're using Apple, they've done that for years and years. You can leave a review, but now you can throw us a 5-star review on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, please do so. It helps us out a lot. So thank you to Zo for coming on. Obviously, he's a co-host, but thanks to our great producer, Rachel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Shamus_Clancy. You can follow Zo on Twitter at tweets_by_Zo. And keep bleeding green. Have a nice, another great football weekend.
Peace.